Okay, so remember that they're changing my voice. So because this comes up all the time, let me try to keep this brief and simple. When it comes to whites, Jews, and LGBT people, okay, I'm not racist. Being racist involves coming into a state of mind that's falsehood and then hating somebody simply because they look different, okay, their culture's different, simply because of that. Okay, moral resentment, righteous indignation can be directed at an individual or a group, at a spirit, what have you. And that's when a group of people, when it comes to a group of people, right? It's when they're all either doing the wrong thing or they're not doing enough to be doing the right thing, okay? And that you're mad at them. So, for example, if I lived in Mississippi, and certainly there's some liberals there are probably white, ladies and gentlemen, right? And they didn't approve of the Klan, okay? And they weren't cheating me out of my right to lead. And I said, in that scenario, which is not this scenario, this is not the planet at this time, and it's never going to be this planet ever. Okay. In that scenario, then I would only be mad at the white people who were doing the wrong thing and not the ones who weren't cheating me, who weren't being racist to me, etc. In the scenario that we're in, and this is very interesting, okay? I hate to bring this up because this one gentleman in the comments has been rather diplomatic, okay? But I don't trust anybody, including him, anybody of any race. In this scenario, nobody is obeying God through me. So that one gentleman is being rather diplomatic, rather polite, rather friendly, and I do appreciate that. I do make that distinction. But everybody on the planet is cheating me. And there are three groups leading the charge. Three groups leading the charge. It's like there's a bunch of indigenous people, poor white people, what have you, and they're just trying to eat, trying to live. Maybe they're jerks, maybe they're not, depending on what scale you use, what have you. And these three groups are leading them. They're saying, no, in order for you to live, you have to be part and parcel with persecuting the most righteous person that ever lived. I can't then, as somebody who's fair to all races, say that all races are equally guilty. I have to say that whites, Jews, and LGBT people as groups are leading the charge, and some of them, lots of them, don't want to persecute me, okay? But their groups are leading the charge, and they tend to take more of a share of the spoils of being a devil, okay? I don't care if they have straight hair. I don't care if they're strong or weak, or if they're disabled or not. I don't care about these things. I care that their groups are leading the charge. And when they look in the mirror and say, hey guys, I'm white, I'm Jewish, I'm LGBT, or what have you, that they've come to the conclusion that it's good enough to be a member of that group and that culture and to cheat me out of my right to lead, whatever subculture they're in. A surfer, it could be hippie, be Amy Goodman. They're all cheating me out of my right to lead, which is doing me wrong to the fucking extreme. We see in Judges, okay, I didn't get to that part yet. I had to take a break from reading these things, right? There comes a point where it talks about the people of Meroz. The people of Meroz are said to be cursed for not standing with Samson and Deborah when they took on the enemies of God. It said, let those people be cursed. Were they actively approaching them? Okay. Were they actively opposing them? Or did they just not do anything? So as there's this climactic battle between good and evil, which is in sound principle, not in theory, not in religious fanaticism or ritual madness or religious ecstasy or theater arts or propaganda, in principle that is sound as basic arithmetic and more sound than that. There's this climactic showdown, the final confrontation in this world before the scum, try to keep living after I die or whatever they're going to do, and the righteous leave this world and are never coming back. And whites and Jews and LGBT people are leading the charge against me. God will never forget. I will never forget. That's why I bring up those groups the way I do. Again, I don't give a shit if they like French fries, or if they have curly hair, or if they wear a shirt with Bart Simpson on it. I care that they're cheating me out of my right to lead, and their groups, the most fanatic members of their groups, are leading the charge to persecute me for being righteous. Now again, I don't want to yell at anybody in this video. You can imagine it makes me bitter. I apologize if my tone is bitter. But you can imagine it is frustrating trying to clarify that with all the rules on social media, all the social stigma that comes with saying, I believe that a group of people is wrong from the bottom to top. It gets a little complicated on white people, where my mother is white and she is considered blameless. But it's not that simple. She doesn't scramble to obey God through me, and nor should she be the only one scrambling to obey God through me, because that's my mother. So of course she's going to want to do something like that. She's going to do me more justice than other people. You see what I'm saying? So I can't in good faith count that, especially when she's just blameless. She's not actively arguing that I'm right. You see what I'm saying? So what we have here is like in the Bible, where the whites, Jews, and LGBT people, right? There was LGBT people in Rome. They crucified Jesus together. They plotted on him together. They mocked him together. Okay? Now there was some disciples, so you could then say that those disciples made it so that all the Jews at that point weren't guilty. But the vast majority of them were. Now we've reached a time where every last one of them is guilty of cheating me out of my right to lead, and there's some of them that are fanatically persecuting me, and they go through the motions of acting like they're going to be blessed after I'm gone. They're going to keep teaching about quote-unquote God in their synagogues and as crypto Jews in the churches and in the mosques after I'm gone. As part of the New World Order, a Novus Ordo Seclorum, secular, without God, mockers. I'm 100% convinced, and they've 100% convinced me deliberately, that they're going to continue to mock God as the main ones doing it after I'm gone, after they led the charge against me. How could I not say those fucking groups there, them right there? How could I not say that for eternity? And pointing at their offspring as well. Think about it. If you think that's racist or unfair or shouldn't be allowed, you're a sick racist fuck. You think racists should be able to fucking just abuse the shit out of everybody and you can't call them on it? How fucking sick is that? You think LGBT people should take on heterophobia as a lifestyle and persecute me and I shouldn't be able to call them on that? That's fucking sick. Okay, so keep in mind that they don't want to publicly discuss it with me or go point by point with me over it. I'm willing to go point by point with the Klan or the Nazis to explain to them why they're racist. And to say, hey, this is why you're racist. There's no viable counter-argument. You should stop. They cannot do that with me because they know that I'm right. If I take the time to go over it again and print out a sheet and go point by point, which is probably what I'm going to do, okay, for this playlist, another playlist I'm going to make just to talk about this subject that everyone should know I'm right about the first time, okay? If I take the time to do that, it'll be crystal clear even more than it is in this video. They do not want to discuss it with me. They want to be able to take down my videos, harass me, persecute me, have a bunch of racists from their groups go, fuck you, man, we're insulted. But they don't want to go point by point with me and settle the matter like men. How could anyone then, with that understanding, even think for a moment that it's right to take their side? It's not. When you treat someone the way I'm being treated, and they've proven that they're right the way I have, it is evil to pretend that they're wrong and say he is racist. And we are in the right and we're just defending ourselves. Bull fucking shit. Truly, I tell you, Goliath had a better argument that he's defending himself from David than you people have, that you're defending yourself from the Spirit of God in me. Okay, so one last thing. I'll put his comment at the end. When I asked this person if he felt that it was okay for me to be angry, he basically said yes. He said I have a right to be angry. That my videos aren't too harsh, or at least that video. And I'll put the comments on the end. And I do appreciate that. And I've asked people before And some people did respond, and they said, yes, you're right to be angry. This stuff makes you angry. And I've posted something like that of a different comment or an interview to that effect before. So it's not like I'm some crazy, raving, racist person. And the fact that we all know there's people who would try to gaslight people and present it that way, you can imagine it's infuriating to have your videos suppressed while you're fumed and poisoned, and you know for sure people are lying about you and are going to lie about you. Okay? And I saw the best years of my life go by before I started making videos, or, and toward the end, right? I consider 19 to 29. And then what's left of the years after that, they pass by while I'm shunned and persecuted for doing what's right, while attractive women are dating scumbags who do what's wrong. Some even rape people and kill people and beat their wives and so on and so forth, while I'm shunned. Because people are so fucking unreasonable. Here I'm the top martial artist ever possible, brain surgeon son, yes. That means I'm more reasonable and I'm more logical than other people? Absolutely, absolutely. But does that mean that people shouldn't have a basic, bare minimum human decency or better? No. Does that mean that people should be as unreasonable as they are? No. And let me tell you something else. And the word normal is scrambled. The word moral is scrambled into the word normal. Okay? What is the most normal? The most moral is the most normal. And that's me. This is the most normal response to this world in human history. For the people who say I'm crazy, when you call the most sane person, the most moral, the most normal person that ever lived crazy, and you actually believe that, you're crazy. If you don't believe it, why would you do that? That's crazy. So we have this kind of society full of crazies who are quick to say he's crazy, and then there's some people say, no, he's not crazy. And then they gather him, look, you better not get involved. Okay? That's some sick cult fucking bullshit. That's some workplace bullying, group stalking, group harassment, bitch shit. Truly, hell, when I used to hang out with various types of people, again, like Christ in the Bible, hung out with drunkards and gluttons, but wisdom is proven right by our deeds. Okay? I never picked on people unfairly. I never said, hey, that guy's a nerd, stuff him in a locker. No, that's stupid. I didn't pick on people. I didn't mistreat people. I didn't gang stalk people. All that shit is bitch. And I call myself for years, since a teenager, the voice of reason with whoever I'm hanging out with. Especially if I was hanging out with thugs. I'm the voice of reason. I don't think people should sell hard drugs. I don't think people should rape people. I don't think people should do certain things that are universally despicable. The voice of reason. And the voice of God, not the sound of my voice, the message of my voice, the essence of the motivating spirit, the motivating force, the dominant tendency, the dominant characteristic. And I'll tell you, this video, is heartbreaking. Never in my life did I think I would have to say the things that I've said. Never would I think that it would come to it until, maybe the last 8 years or so. That it finally came to the final betrayal of righteousness in this world, and the people after my flesh dies will be cut off from God.